88% of customers trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations. Getting reviews and building social proof is essential to improve your sales on Amazon. Basically, the more reviews, the more sales. However, getting reviews is a very, very tough job and a very tough thing to master. My guest for this video is Henson Wu, CEO of FeedbackWhiz. He claims that his software, FeedbackWhiz, can help Amazon sellers dominate the marketplace. Let's learn a little bit more about FeedbackWhiz, about Henson, and about all the ways you can use FeedbackWhiz in order to get more reviews. Henson, thank you so much for being a guest on the show. I'm very happy to have you and very happy to talk about everything related to FeedbackWhiz and related to reviews as well.
Thanks for having me, Crystal.
You're most welcome.
Happy to.
So before we get started, I'm going to ask you a few questions and then we're going to straight away jump into a tutorial. However, we both know that Amazon communication guidelines have been changed, and now it's very crystal clear, basically, for sellers whether basically what they can and cannot do when communicating with customers. We're going to be talking about all of that, but in preparation for this interview, I put out a story on our account on Instagram, asking people, you know, what questions do you have about reviews and all of that. Mostly, I got a lot of questions and feedback from people saying that they basically believe that the whole review thing and the fact that it's so hard for people to get reviews, and I'm talking about Amazon in the UAE and Amazon in KSA, which hopefully you'll be available on Amazon in KSA soon. They mostly say it's probably a cultural thing. So people tend to believe that it's a cultural thing in the Arab world, in the Middle East. People are not used to leaving reviews. Do you think it's a cultural thing, or is it a problem everywhere and anywhere to convince somebody to leave a review?
I definitely think it is a cultural thing, because if you live in a society where leaving reviews is not normal, or just, communication is not something normal where you would, give feedback about something you bought, then it's definitely going to be a challenge to adapt to, that kind of platform. However, yeah, with Amazon, I think, because they've always traditionally been in the US, right? And then going to other countries is a little different. So I think eventually consumers are going to figure out, well, the only way I can know if the product is good or bad is by reading reviews, right? And then they'll start understanding the importance of reviews. So I think at some point they're going to start adapting and say, all right, we need to leave reviews, or we need to read reviews in order to get accurate information about products. So it might take some time to, get people to adapt to that. However, there are strategies, right? Like if you understand the culture and you understand how to connect with people in a good way, then I think it's easy. It's you have the ability to get them to, help you out by either writing a review or leaving you some feedback. So I think it's possible, except there's a challenge. Yeah,
it's true, because it is obviously about connecting with somebody, because that's the tough part about getting somebody to review your product. They don't know who you are. They don't know your background. They don't know the fact that, you're starting this business and you want to build and scale this business. They have no idea who you are. So they don't feel like they basically owe you anything. And that's the difference between going to a physical store and meeting the staff and meeting the owner and having a connection and a relationship, and buying a product online without having any relationships whatsoever. So I guess that's the strategy, what you just talked about, and we're going to talk about that some more. But before we jump into the tutorial, let me know a little bit about FeedbackWhiz, when you guys started, and I know everybody's interested to know, when did you guys start and why?
Yeah, so feedback was original story was my background. Yeah, I used to sell on e-commerce since I was in high school. So back in like the late 90s, and all the way through college, and after I graduated, I was selling on eBay, and then I got into Amazon in 2014, and I did like retail arbitrage. I did private label. But my background is in electrical computer engineering. So I worked in the industry for a long time. And so during this time, we were just building stores. And yeah, at some point I decided, hey, I need to build some software for my own store. And I got up my buddy, started building software, and yeah, this is where we are today. We launched FeedbackWhiz in 2017, and it was pretty good. We had a lot of users come in saying, wow, you guys have a really unique tool. There's a lot of strategies back then that can't be implemented anymore. So we had a lot of cool features like matching reviews and having all these different advanced ways to reach out to buyers, personalized messages to get them to leave your review. So people really saw a lot of value and saw that our tool brought them much higher conversions.
Sure. I guess because you saw a need and you had that need, so you created a tool for it. That's how that's how all the best businesses actually start. Can we jump on FeedbackWhiz and just get a short tutorial from you so everybody can understand how it works, what it helps, and what it does. And by the way, for everybody who's watching, this is actually part 1 of a 2-part video. So you're going to have to wait for part 2 because Henson is going to show us briefly. FeedbackWhiz do have a fantastic, what am I going to call it? Feature? Yes, a fantastic feature which they're rolling out, and we're going to do a complete separate video about it because it's very important. But we're going to just give you a little teaser in this video.
Sure. Let me share you my screen.
Yes, perfect.
So this is our FeedbackWhiz dashboard. This basically gives you a quick overview of different metrics that we track for you. Nothing really special here. I won't go too much detail. We have an orders page, which is very unique, compared to some other softwares because we pull in all your order data from the API. And the reason we do this is because we try to integrate all the different things that happen to this order so we can help you, traditionally before it was when you trigger emails, we know like, hey, did they use a promotion? Did they use a coupon code? Did they repeat buyer? Did they leave you seller feedback? So there's all these little data points we can use to help you guys configure your email campaigns, to help you guys maximize positive reviews and minimize negative reviews. So this is the function of the order page. It gives you a lot of information about, the buyer, when it's shipped, if there's a promotion, do they leave feedback, right? We have data on like emails sent, right? We'll tell you exactly when it went out.
Yeah. What I do love about all the features is the repeat order also. The fact that it's an R for repeat order.
Yeah. If you click on the order number, it'll show you all the orders that they place. And there's a lot of filtration and search that you can do. Like you can find a lot of information about the orders. Like if you want to find all the products that people bought multiple quantities, you can search for that. Refund, different campaigns. There's a lot of search functionality you can find by ASIN. So it's really good if you want to like kind of get more details about your orders. And then we take this data, and when you create emails, we have a campaign manager where you can set up. So the way these campaigns work is that one campaign only sends out one email per order, right? That's it. So if you're asking for a review, it's only going to send one review request out. Now, why do I have multiple campaigns? Well, the reason here is to maximize getting, the most amount of reviews. You don't want to ask reviews at the same time for all your products because every product has a different type of, what would you say, like evaluation cycle, right? So if I'm selling supplements, like I'm not going to ask for a review after 5 days, right? Obviously they haven't used it enough to really know if it's going to help them or not, right? Or if I'm selling, I don't know, like a pull-up bar, like that's something I can install right away and use it and know whether or not it's sturdy, if it works, right? And that's something you can ask like 7 days, right? So what you really want to do is you want to segregate your email campaigns to target different products based on the timing. So that's what FeedbackWhiz can do is, you know, you can come in here, select your products and say, all right, these, you know, whatever these products are part of this brand, and I can schedule this for, you know, 5 days to 7 days or 30 days after, right? And right now what I'm showing you is the review request button. So in FeedbackWhiz now we have this integrated where we can trigger it for you in Seller Central via a campaign. So you don't need to install any browser extensions. You don't need to go in there and click it yourself. You can just create a campaign here, and basically, you know, you can't create your customized template obviously because Amazon's the one that creates this for you. So the restriction here is not us, it's Amazon. So they only allow you to send it delivered between 5 and 30 days after delivery.
Yeah.
Now, the other cool thing here is you can set these exclusions. So you can now say, well, I don't want to send this review request to every single order, right? Because some of these orders might have issues, right? Obviously, returns and refunds, like I don't want to be asking for reviews if these kind of events happen, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Or let's say you're running a promo code, right? With promo codes on Amazon, it's always been kind of iffy with how Amazon tracks reviews based on discounted products, right? Most of the time now, people are, you know, we just theorize that you shouldn't be asking reviews for coupon codes that you're giving out, just because I think Amazon's kind of watching and they might not, you know, there's things that they might do to, you know, flag your listing for that. So that's something you might want to exclude, or someone that left you negative feedback already, right? Why would you ask them for a positive review? Right? So these are all things that you can filter, and we have the data for it, like I showed you earlier in Order Manager, right? So this makes it very powerful. And
a very important question, Henson. A lot of people ask me in our society, they ask me a lot, which email do people receive like an email from? Basically, are they going to receive my own, like a request via my own personal email, which I use to open the FeedbackWhiz account? Or is it my own personal email that I use to set up my Amazon seller account? Are they going to know who I am? All of that.
Yeah, so Amazon, they assign every buyer and seller with a masked, it's like a hashed Amazon.com email address. So when you email or you send messages through any platform, the buyer will never know who you are. They'll never see your real email address. The seller will never see your real email address. And you can only communicate each other if you complete a transaction. So even if you have this guy's random at Amazon email address, like if you didn't make it a order completion with them, it's not going to go through. So yeah, it's completely anonymous. They're not going to know who you are. You're not going to see your real email address or anything like that. So yeah, going back to this campaign, one of the other cool features is we have this repeat buyer strategy where you can also trigger, you know, emails or review requests based on the purchase count of the buyer. So this is more for, I would say, there's some sellers that have, you know, immaculate product review rating. They're like 4.7 stars. They have, you know, 3,000 reviews, and they don't really need to get more reviews. All they want to do is make sure that the reviews come in are positive, right? And they want to maximize that probability that it's positive.
Yeah.
So they're not going to even ask the majority of the buyers to ask for review. They only want to ask people who bought their product more than once, right?
For sure.
So here I could say, I only want to send this email out if they bought it from me on the second, third, and fourth purchase, or maybe only the third and fourth purchase, right? Depending on what product you sell. And this will increase the chances of you getting a positive review because obviously they bought from you again, right?
Yeah.
So these are the kind of features that we can offer to help you guys generate more positive reviews and try to eliminate the negative reviews. And this is why you might want to use a tool like FeedbackWhiz, because, you know, you manually doing it yourself, you don't have, for you to get all this data, put it together, it's not worth your time, right? So let me show you another template here. I created one where, you know, maybe this is a warranty. Oh, someone modified this. But yeah, this is our template builder, right? So in this template here, like you can basically, you know, type whatever message you want, something personalized, right? And then you can put an email attachment. Right? If you click on here, you can attach your product or warranty instruction, right? And Amazon still allows you to put in your logo as well. So even though they say no images, logos are okay.
Okay.
So you can still put in your logos, and this is actually one of the benefits of using buyer-seller messaging is that you have an opportunity to display your logo, which can increase your brand reputation. Because you know, if you use the request a review button, they're not going to see your logo. They're just going to see the products that you buy, and it's going to be a very generic email address that generic email template that Amazon creates for everyone, right? But like we said, and I've always been more in favor of sending personalized messages. If you have the right message and the buyer reads it and they feel like they made a connection, or they feel like, hey, this is, you know, worthwhile for me to leave a review, then your chances of getting a review is much higher than sending a generic email out, you know, that everyone gets all the time. So that's my thoughts on, you know, emails versus the review request button. However, you know, with emails, like I said, the new rules have a lot of restrictions. So you have to be very careful with the language you use in there. Like, you can't be incentivizing a review. So one of the biggest issues also in the past was sellers were writing messages saying, hey, if you had a good experience with my product, could you please leave me a review? And it sounds like there's no harm for that. However, Amazon, they view this as incentivizing or steering, meaning that you're trying to get them to write a review only if they had a good experience, right? Or you try to divert them to respond to you if they had a bad experience, saying, hey, if you had an issue with this product, could you please contact me before you leave your review, right? So those kind of strategies, you got to throw them out the door now, because Amazon doesn't allow that. They want you to ask reviews in a very neutral manner. So it has to be very, you know, like just neutral, like no bias at all. So for example, this is, if you trigger the Amazon review request, but this is what Amazon sends out to everyone, right? It's a very generic template. They're going to put in your store name. They're going to put in your product name. They're going to put in your image. And all they write is, you know, seller requests you share your experience for your recent order. Please take a moment to review a recent Amazon purchase. It's very simple, right? So Amazon basically wants you to kind of gear towards this kind of simplicity or this kind of neutral tone of way of asking for a review. However, they do allow you to write additional text. So I did ask them, well, let's say I'm asking for a review, but I want to also include some information on whether or not, you know, to reply to this email if you have any questions or concerns, right? Because there's no issues with that. I'm not saying that you have to reply to me. I'm just saying, if you have any questions or concerns, please reply to this email or contact me. It's not a condition of them leaving a review. I'm just simply putting that message at the bottom of the email. And they're actually, they're okay with that, because I'm not steering them. I'm not incentivizing them. I'm just providing a way for them to reach out to me via customer support, which is something Amazon actually wants. So something like that is okay. Or, you know, there's a lot of sellers that write a message about how, hey, we're a small business and, you know, I would say be a little bit careful on how you write that. Don't make it sound like you're desperate for a competition and you really need their support to, you know, it's kind of, you want to keep that on a minimum, right? You can tell them, hey, I'm a small business and we're doing everything we can to help customers, you know, we're building the best products in the world, et cetera. But don't give them a sobbing story about how, you know, there's all these, these big sellers and you can't compete with them and you need their, that might be a problem. So you got to be a little careful with that. But yeah, other than that, there's no issue now with sending emails via buyer-seller messaging or using the request review button. So it's really up to you which method you want to use. I would say try both of them out and see, you know, which one's getting you more reviews. So obviously we have a product review manager as well, so you can monitor all the reviews that come in, right? So you can see exactly, well, in this time frame, like in the last like 7 days, you know, like I send out like 500 emails, like how many reviews did I get, right? And you can easily come in here and see all the reviews that you're monitoring, or you can view it by product itself, right? So you can see, you know, in the last 7 days I had these reviews come in, or let's say I only want to see my 1-star ratings, I could just filter only those and see what kind of problems I had, right? You know, you can also go, and this will take you directly to the Amazon review page, and then you can go and comment on it, right? So you always should do is you should always come in here, log in as your brain name, and then comment on the review. So that's one of the biggest things I think sellers don't realize, is that commenting on reviews is not so much that, you know, the buyer is going to come back, read it, and then remove it, but it's a way for you to actually show your prospective customers that are researching your product later on that you care about your customer, you care about your product, right? So you really want to comment on this. And actually there's some guidelines around what you can do on this, and it's actually pretty lenient right now. I think it actually says you are allowed to leave your phone number or email address or something like that in here, so you can do that. And you know, that's a great way for to build your brand reputation. Perfect. So yeah, definitely do these kind of strategies. With FeedbackWhiz, you know, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do here. Like we have these custom tagging features, labels. So if you have a lot of different ASINs or different types of categories, you can group them together. I can call this apparel. I can say this is an Amazon review request button. I can come back in here and only, you know, filter by my review request button campaigns, or I have a dog product that I want to see what my sequence is, right? Or supplements, right? So you can really come in here really easily and organize everything. So if you have a lot of ASINs, you have a lot of different groups you want to create, it's very easy to manage, and then you can come in here and see exactly how many emails you sent. Apologize, this is a demo account, so it doesn't really have real data, but yeah, I mean, you have ways to track. Sorry, open rates won't be available anymore, but at least you can see how many emails you sent, and you can compare it to, like, let's say how many reviews you got in the same period, right? So basically for email automation, this is what FeedbackWhiz can do for you. And we do also monitor your feedback, seller feedback as well. So for sellers that are, you know, doing more retail arbitrage, or they don't have private label, you know, seller feedback is important. And one of the strategies I also recommend is that as a seller, you need to identify, is seller feedback more important to your store, or is it product reviews that is more important, right? Don't send both the feedback and product review emails in the same email, because what happens is the buyer really doesn't understand the difference between seller feedback and product reviews. A lot of times they leave the reviews in the feedback section, for sure, and not knowing that, you know, hey, this is for seller feedback, right? So, and then the other thing is they don't really come back after they leave you feedback and then click on the other link to leave you a review, right? People hardly do that. So just figure out what's your target, right? You could be a seller that needs both, right? In that case, then you want to set up a campaign. You know, if certain ASINs you want to get seller feedback, then target a campaign for those ASINs. And certain ASINs that are your private label product, target those for product reviews, right? So this is where software comes in and really helps you manage, you know, everything. And once you set it up, it's automated, right? You don't have to really do anything. You can come in and look at the stats once in a while, check how your reviews are doing. You know, if you're not getting a lot of reviews, then maybe you can try a different method, right? Change your subject line, change your template, you know? So
yes, you can always test, for sure.
Yeah. So this is a FeedbackWhiz side of, you know, product reviews and setting up campaigns and templates. So
perfect. I want to ask you something also related to reviews, and I think you're the best person to ask. So there are a lot of people who go to, you know, Facebook groups who are promising to, you know, help you get your reviews and all of that. I do know that it's not such a good idea. However, I would like to know your take on it. So should sellers go to those Facebook groups that promise, you know, to help you get some reviews? Is it a good idea, especially with the new guidelines?
The new guidelines don't really say anything about that kind of stuff. It's more for communication policies. However, there is a guideline already set in place for product reviews. And inside those guidelines, it's pretty clear on, you know, you can't manipulate reviews, meaning they want like authentic buyers to come in and buy it, not for you to go to Facebook groups and ask random people to review your product. And I'll tell you for sure, 100% don't do it. And the reason I say don't do it is because the people in those groups, they're not just reviewing your product, they're reviewing everyone else's product, right? And Amazon they're not dumb, right? They're tracking everything that's going on. They know everything that you do. Like wherever your mouse moves on that page, they have that data somewhere, right? All the reviews that come in, they know where it's coming in from. They know all the accounts, they can tie it together. They know the IP addresses, right? And then they have very advanced algorithms that can detect, you know, hey, there's too many reviews coming in, or there's, this one reviewer that's reviewing all your products, right? They can identify patterns immediately. And as soon as they identify those patterns, they're going to come say, hey, by the way, we've deactivated your listing. You can no longer get reviews anymore, right?
Yeah.
So it's really not worth it to go that route. And I think a lot of new sellers, they don't understand that. They don't understand how advanced Amazon is. They've been trying to fight this fake review thing for years and years now. And they've done a really good job so far with cutting it down. They even, right now there's even a threshold on how fast you can get reviews, right? If you get, I think like over 10% of whatever the sales or something like that, if if your review velocity in short terms is too fast, right, then they will also prevent your listing from getting reviews, right?
Yeah, because it's just not normal.
It's not normal. Yeah, you got to be careful with that too, right? Yeah. So I would say, yeah, use if you just launched a product and you want to try to get reviews, use the early review requests program.
That doesn't. That's not available in the UAE though.
It's not.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not.
It's still not available. Yeah. But still, you can probably get away with asking a few people who are like friends of friends, genuine people who aren't like in a Facebook group that does this for a living. You can get away.
Yeah, that's okay. Amazon can't. They're not going to track it that deep. But if you keep asking the same people to leave reviews, and it becomes a problem, right?
Yeah.
So just be careful. Just be a little careful. You can ask some people. Technically, you're not supposed to, but everyone bends the rules a little bit, right? You got to do what you can to help yourself. What I'm saying is, don't do things that are so obvious, right, that you're going to get caught. So just be careful with that. Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment in the comment section below. I'll see you in another video with more information. Bye.